What's going on, people? Good day to you, man. New video. You know, they say that all good things come to an end. But I guess that means all bad things come to an end too. Which means that hang in there, brother. Sis. You know, sometimes we get to a point in many different situations where we feel like our back's up against the wall and that, we can't move forward, man. And that might be the case in that moment, man. But those moments come to pass, you know what I'm saying? And you're gonna look back and you're gonna be happy that you know, stayed down until you came up. I can't tell you how many times I felt like my back was against the wall and that there was no moving forward, man. You know, or a person was at a dead end job, barely making any money, and didn't have enough finances to make any significant, meaningful moves. Or, the scenarios are endless, to be honest, man. And for all my people that feel like they're targeted, who feel like they're alone, and who feel like they ain't got no one to talk to, that might be the case, man. Because that was the case for me, man. That's ultimately what led to me making these videos, man, and that, making my voice heard. And it's really because I felt like my back was against the wall and that, things was going to keep going downhill. And another thing, it's like so many things in our life are out of our control, man. And that's another thing about life, man, is there's people that want to try to control everything, even things that are beyond their control or understanding. And these things that we go through have an expiration date just like everything else, man. But one thing I learned, man, is that the ones that gave up will never know. And the people that want to give up, man, this is who this message is for, bro. I don't want you to feel like there's nothing you could do, man, because there's always something you could do, man. There's always something you could do, man. A lot of times when I'm feeling down and I'm feeling depressed, man, and I'm feeling like things are just really not going my way and the world is against me, you know what I'll do, bro? If I got some money in my pocket, man, I'll go down to the local grocery store and I'll buy me some meat and some supplies, and I'll take it back to the house and I'll cook me something good to eat, man. And usually when the food is done and the cooking process is over and I sit down and make myself a plate and I eat, I feel better, man. I feel re-inspired. I feel re-energized, man. I put some love in my body, man. And I realized that yes, things are bad for folks, and yes, things can get bad in our lives, and yes, right? But one thing about me, man, is I'm gonna always move forward, man, with whatever plans I got, with whatever idea or whatever inspires me. I'm gonna act on it, man. I'm a problem solver. And I feel like a lot of people have it in them to be a problem solver, man. And that's why I say even bad things come to an end, you know. And our time on this world, in this world, is to learn everything we can, right? The goal should be, although it's not always, is to be the best version of yourself and to be positive, uplifting, helpful, insightful, and if that's the kind of person that you feel that you are, then congratulations, man. You are definitely gonna overcome any obstacles in your way, and giving up, sir, is not an option, and it'll never be an option for people like us because there are so many people in this world and around a lot of us that are counting on you feeling like you're binded up, you're trapped, and there's no way out, and you won't be able to move forward. And that just simply ain't the truth, man. You know, and then on top of that, you got to incorporate prayer, man. You know, you either need to develop a relationship with God, number one, or you need to strengthen your relationship with God, number two. Because I made a pact with God a long time ago, man, and it was at a time when my back was up against the wall. And I told God, I said, listen, God, if you can provide me the strength through my prayer, then I'll make a deal. But not the kind of deal where you owe me something, but a promise to you from me that I will give life my best shot. I will give it my best effort, and I will strive every day to grow and become a better person and do everything I can to make my heart as light as a feather and to do what's right. And then I ended up in a position where some people would say, oh, well, I don't need God anymore. But me, I need God every day, man. No matter how successful, no matter how good things are going in my life, I still need God. You know why? Because I got to be able to sustain. I got to be consistent. And so I never turned my back on God, and I didn't lie to him. You know, I stood on my word, and to this day, man, you know, I keep God first. I follow his commands to the best of my ability, man. And even if I fall short, homie, I still acknowledge that a lot of the things I got through, I owe it to my creator, man. And I owe it to myself to keep moving forward. Because let's be real, man, a lot of us have been through so many things that it would make a great story, right? You know, it'd make a great story. You know? And so I think that, hey, man, if all else fails, man, sit down and write it down. Put all your thoughts on paper, man. Put all your shortfalls, all your blockages, put it on paper, man. Next thing you know, you're going to end up with a book. And if you got a little money, you can go get it edited and published and put in a book. And next thing you know, you got a book on the shelf, man. You know, but that's how you turn pain into profit. You know, that's how you turn your power into payments. You know, life ain't all about money. I get that. But the point is, man, is we can't never give up. Because there's enough things in this world, in this society, for you to be able to do something. If a man could become homeless and end up in a shelter or living in his car, to creating a business, to creating a opportunity, because sometimes people ain't going to give you an opportunity. You got to create your own opportunity, man. And that's why people feel like their back is against the wall, in my opinion, of course, is that we rely on outside sources, man. And it seems to me that, a lot of people don't look within, man. And if you do, then great news. We're not talking about you, man. But people don't source themselves a lot of the time, man. People want to source everything outside of themselves, and that works, right? That's how the world is set up, man. You can source things outside of yourself and you can absolutely find success. But then that leaves the resources within untapped, man. But it seems like it takes extreme situations, feeling like you backed up against the wall. you know Maybe a person is in trouble with the law, fighting the case, and they know that the only person that can get them out of a situation is their creator, is through a lot of prayer. But then all the resources within yourself remain untapped. So it's like, man, you got the power, you got the know-how, you got the ability. Sometimes you just gotta look within, tap in to your own personal power, and understand that it's there waiting for you, man. Because every person alive is gifted, man. And I done said this before, and I'm gonna say it again in the future, man. You know, I hate it when I hear people that want to give up on themselves, man. Because I feel like me giving up has never been an option, man. I just couldn't do it. Like, I was programmed that way. Like, man, like to give up makes me feel like I like to I can't even describe the feeling that comes over me when the thought of giving up enters into my mind, man. It's just like so not an option, man. That, like, I just wish I could come with the right combination of words to make you understand that failure is gonna happen regardless, man. And it's completely natural, bro. Failure is completely natural, man. Feeling like you stuck in a rut is also completely natural. And life can be compared for a lot of folks to being in a car that's stuck in the mud, man. You will be spinning your wheels but not going anywhere. It don't matter how hard you hit that gas, man. You just gonna spin them wheels till you burn the motor up, right? But if you're smart and you think with ingenuity, you'll figure out a way to get out the mud and get those wheels spinning on asphalt again, man. And that's what I mean about not giving up, man. You know, and this message today is really based on having a conversation with an individual that was feeling this way, man. And so I gave him some encouraging words, man. And I don't think that this person will be giving up. But I also took heed to my own words, and I said, to myself that sometimes the most strongest people out there need support, man. Sometimes the person that gives all the support doesn't have any of their own. Like the old saying, like, you can loan 10 people some money, but if you needed some money, you wouldn't be able to find anybody that would loan anything to you. So going broke ain't an option for a person like that. They gonna always make a way, just out of programming their mind in knowing that they can never find themselves in the same situation as the people around them. And those be the best kind of people, in my opinion. Someone that understands that they don't have the same generosity extended to them as the generosity that they'll extend to another, man. you know and We supposed to be aiming to help, man, because life started out as villages of people that worked together to accomplish great things. And if you look around society, you could see that man has accomplished some great things, man. You know, where we got selfish at along the way, I don't know, man. But, we also know that despite man, accomplishing great things, man has also become severely selfish. And we tend to go through life feeling like we don't need nobody and feeling like we can do this on our own, which you can. But sometimes you end up in that situation where you need the help, you need the encouragement, you need the reminders, and most importantly, you may need, your holy creator right then and there. You know, it's not that you don't need them or you need them sometimes. It's you may need to reach out to God right then and there, and not for any tangible things, but just for some insight, some improvement. There's so many people that gave up, man. And we don't need no more quitters, man. What we need is more innovators, man. People that know how to create the opportunity for themselves when it appears as if there is no opportunity in sight, man. You know, and I feel like, man, I got to keep pushing my message, man, because this is my opportunity of a lifetime to be able to, you know, help my fellow brothers and sisters, man, that get stuck or just don't know which way to go, man. Because like circular motion is motion, but it's just, it ain't gonna do, man. Circular motion is not gonna do, man. And a problem solver understands that, man. The man that focuses on the solution understands that. Because we can sit here and focus on the problem all day, man, and we'll just be spinning our wheels to a point where you will give up, you know, because how does the old saying go, man? When lack of knowledge then took out many people, right? Lack of understanding has caused many people to fail and overlook something that was right in front of their face, and that's where I'm trying to shine at. That's what I'm trying to push and explain to people, that, man, it's so crazy that a lot of us have opportunities, man, to get out of situations, but we don't see every angle of a problem or a solution. So the quickest action of frustration is just to quit. I'm done. Forget this. And that's when the self sabotage creeps in, and you just, bring that destructive behavior out. And we not doing that in 2026, man. We not doing that. Moving forward, we not doing that, man. And I just want you to know that, man. I hope this little message comes across your feed, and you could take it and you could understand what I'm saying to its fullest potential, and that it will help you along your journey, man. Because all I ask is that you do great things, bro, and that you just take a little time to think and know that it can only be all right if you believe that it's gonna be all right. But most importantly, that you believe in yourself, man. And I don't have all the answers. I wish I did. I wish I could tell you that I did. I wish that I could come to you and say, hey, man, I'm a person who never had no problems in my life, man. I'm a person that got through every single obstacle and made it look easy, but that just simply is not the case, man. And I'm pretty sure that there's a whole lot of obstacles in my future that I'm going to have to use critical thinking to get out of, man. You know, Sometimes in certain cases, even my life will depend on it, meaning my heartbeat will depend on it. You know, Paying these bills every day, man, is a it's a struggle, man. It ain't easy out here no more, man. And as the generations slip by, man, more and more people are going to discover that, it's hard out here, man. And that's only one part of the problem that, people are discovering and coming across is it's hard out here, but like, you know, you can complain about it, how it's, you know, really hard to survive and you're barely making it, but like I like to say, man, hey man, one thing that you can't do is complain to the person who gave up and is no longer here and who didn't survive. So keep your head up, your shoulders back, and stand tall. And whatever you're going through, man, you'll get through it. I promise you will. I love you people, man. Do me a favor and like the video, man. Subscribe to it if you like it. And we'll move forward together, bro.